is much sharper than the sword. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Honourable Member Dr. K. Keshav Rao ji, not present. Honourable Member Shri Bikash Ranjan Bhattacharyya ji. Gallery 4. Yes, please.
This is the matter relating to special mentioning.
No, this is your speech. You're supposed to speak on the discussion of motion of thanks on the President's address. You have 9 minutes. You are listed to speak.
Yes, Chairman sir, I'm really honored to get this opportunity to speak on the motion. I thank the Honorable President to take the trouble to come to the House to address the joint session. But I really cannot support the motion after hearing the mover and the seconder of the motion. The mover and the seconder of the motion has made their ideas very clear about what is the perception of the presidential address. I was hearing the chanting of a particular name, which makes me apprehensive of a situation which I have heard in 1930s, in a particular period of time, when a particular person was projected to be the hero of the world, ruler of the world, best person in the world, and everybody was made to say, "Head that man." Here we really hear the same sound. That creates the danger. And that danger is reflected in the speech of the Honorable President. Here the Honorable President does not speak of the basic realities of our country. The basic realities of our country is completely different than the rosy picture which has been sought to be projected by the deliberations of the Honorable President. You will not find why the Kisans of the country had to sit 1 year and then the acts were repealed. More surprisingly, those acts which were passed by both the houses of the Parliament, it was repealed on the Man Ki Baat. It was not even discussed in the cabinet before repealing. Is it really the democratic process? We want to know what had happened in the meantime. Why could a particular gentleman honoring the chair of the Prime Minister of India on his own could decide to repeal the act which were passed by both houses without having proper discussion in the House? This relates to basic question of Indian democratic system. I will refer to that later. Now I find everybody is very much worried about the COVID situation. Does really the vaccination answers all the problem of the COVID situation? The COVID situation has ruined our country and the poverty has increased. More than 33 crores of people have gone down the below poverty line. Is there any reference to that? How could it be recovered? Nothing is mentioned. And ultimately, it is unfortunate that they are claiming that they have given food to everybody. But I know because of a particular case before the Honorable Supreme Court, the Honorable Supreme Court directed the government to run the community kitchen so that the food, cooked food, can be provided to the poorest of the poor people. That itself indicates that the so-called claim of feeding 80 crores of people is only on papers. In reality, you have to go down to them, you have to think of opening the community kitchen, which has been set an example by the students and youth of West Bengal. They have shown how the poor people can be kept feeding with the cooked food during this crisis. Now we have already seen there are international reports which does not get any reflection in the President's deliberation. International report says that inequality in India has increased, widened up much during this period. More than 50% of the world's poor people belong to India. How do you address this? What is your scheme? How do you think that we can really recover these people and bring them above the poverty line? There are countries in the world who have been successful to bring all people above the poverty line. which you have no scheme to speak of. 80% of the Indian household has suffered income loss. What is your scheme? How do you think that these people could be given the source of income so that they can survive? You all talk of certain things which ultimately enriches the rich people. We have seen, this is the international report which has been referred by Oxfam and the economist Piketty's report, that the maximization of the profit during this period has gone in favor of few families. And few Indians have really got their place in the highest billionaires in the world, and the majority of the Indian has gone down the below poverty line. What is your plan? This is really lacking. We have seen that this inequality, if it is not addressed to, the Indian democracy is definitely going to suffer a lot. And to ensure that these people do not suffer, you are taking recourse to absolute oppressive measures. You are trying to destroy the Indian federal structure. I repeat, when 2014 people gave you mandate not to extol an individual's fame and favor. People gave you mandate to ensure that you carry out the constitutional dictums. You have to fulfill the constitutional dreams. Now we find, in the name of fulfilling constitutional dreams, you are destroying the secular structure of the country. You are hailing that you could build up Ram Mandir. Is this the duty of the Prime Minister of a secular country? That he will go to Ram Mandir, he will go to Kashi Vishwanath and appeal to the people, follow your Hindu culture, and thereby you create hatred against the minority community of the country? Democracy did not thought of this. Kindly go to the debate at the Constituent Assembly. We will find that it was the responsibility of the state and the government to ensure complete freedom, free from any fairness to the minority community. Now, in the name of 125th years of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, you have a statue over there in India Gate. Welcome the statue. But you do not welcome the philosophy of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose not only had said that the minorities would be respected, they should be given equal share, he had practiced it. And have you practiced it? By only installing a statue, you cannot really deny the philosophy of the man. If you really want to show respect, please follow the philosophy of the person. I can give an example. While he was the Chief Executive Officer of Municipal Corporation Kolkata, he had found that there was no Muslim representation in the employment. He made it compulsory that more than 50% of the employment should go to the Muslims because they are part of the country. He had never thought that the minority communities, whether Muslim, Christian, or Jains, they are anti-national. They are more national than any. And that was the philosophy which was preached by Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. And unfortunately, this basic fabric when under attack does not get any reflection in the presidential address. We have seen there are hate speech. There are congregations where from open declaration of genocide is given. And our Prime Minister has not uttered a single word condemning that hatred speech. And if this is the person whom we resorted our responsibility to run the country, we think that we are in danger. Therefore, these governments should come out very clearly. Why should the Supreme Court or the High Court to intervene and ask that initiate action? Why would not the administration on its own take proactive action? Sir, you will be shocked and surprised to know that one of the student leaders who has been charge-sheeted, one of the journalists from a minority community has been charge-sheeted because he knows much better. The charge sheet says that you are a knowledgeable person, you know much, therefore you have a right to mislead the people and you go to the jail. Is this the democracy?
Honourable Member, your time allotted has completed. Will you conclude?
Sir, I will take just 1 minute.
You have one more speaker. So
I just take 1 minute. I would only quote from our first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. We should remember every time his views and ideas about Indian democracy and secularism. He said, we have definitely accepted democratic process. Why have we accepted? Well, for a variety of reasons. Because we think that in the final analysis, it promotes the growth of human beings. I repeat, it promotes the growth of human beings and of society. Because, as we have said in our constitution, we attach great value to individual freedom. Because we want the creative and adventurous spirit of man to grow. It is not enough for us, really, to produce the material goods of the world. We do want high standards of living, but not at the cost of man's creative spirit,
Please.
his creative energy, his
Yes.
spirit of adventure.
One sec.
Not at the cost of all
point of
these
order. Honourable
fine
member.
things of life.
Honourable member.
2 lines.
There's a point of order.
Yes.
Yes, please. Under which rule, please?
238, some of the rules, some of the statements made by the honorable member, they are very treasonous, disparaging an entire community. Can I?
Please,
no,
please.
no.
I'm taking the point of order. Let me take the point of order.
Okay.
Let me take the point of order.
238,
Sir, may I complete
Three
my...
sub-point 7.
Narasimha, what is 238? Which point?
7.7.
Point 7. 238.7.
No, 1 second. 238, yeah, under 5, sub-point 7.
Okay, you have made your point.
Yeah,
We will
you see,
examine.
he has used defamatory words.
I have
He said
seen-
any minority person belonging to a
I
minority
have
religion,
noted your
he is
point of
more-
order.
He is more
Honourable-
patriotic than any.
Honourable
I think
member-
you cannot make
This
such
is not-
Honourable
an
member-
atrocious statement.
You have
It's
made
an
your point.
atrocious, unacceptable. He must apologize for the remark.
You have made your point. Please, 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 please. He has made a point of order. I have noted it. If there is, one second. Let me complete. He has made a point of order. I have noted it. If there is anything that should not be there, will be examined and action be taken.
Is seen what was the quotation of Subhash Chandra Bose, and that should be retained in full.
Yes.
Thank you.
I have
Yes.
just said, unfortunately,
Please
I am not
conclude.
allowed
We
to
are
complete
about
my
time
speech.
now. Yeah, please conclude.
I was just,
You have
I'm
10
just
seconds.
concluding.
Please. Yeah.
But not at the, I know this will hit somebody's, because of this, because they don't have any idea of the
We are at
democratic spirit.
2:55. I'll have to
But
close
not
at this
the
point
cost
of
of
time.
man's creative spirit.
We are already at
His
2:55.
creative energy, his spirit of adventure, not at the cost of all these fine things of life, which have enabled man through ages. Democracy is not merely a question of elections. The question before us is how to combine democracy with socialism
Thank
through
you.
peaceful and legitimate means.
Thank you.
This is the democracy which prompts us to come before this House and which is the obligation of the government to follow.
Thank you. Thank you, Honourable Member. We'll now go on to special mentions. The discussion will continue tomorrow. Tomorrow, yes. So
My
you will
name
be
is-
the first, yes.
Yeah.
You will be
My
the
name
first
is-
person to speak as per the schedule.
Yeah,
Manya
please,
Thamizharan.
must not be changed tomorrow. Allow me first to speak.
Yes, yes. You're on the schedule. You are the first person tomorrow. Yes. Thank you. We'll be going on to special mentions due to a lack of time.